So after a huge week in crypto, I wanted to jump on and just analyze some of the altcoins, that which I think could be good. If we are to enter a new bull market, whatever it is, these are the ones to watch. So what I've taken about 10 to 20 altcoins in the top 100. I'm just going to analyze them and see what my thoughts are really. But just remember, this is not financial advice. Don't go aping into anything I say. Starting off with Zcash. Looks good. If you can get a weekly close above there, definitely strong. It's held this year, like it will have relative strength against Bitcoin. So one thing I always recommend to do is if you can go on there. Look, if it's got relative strength against Bitcoin and it's outperforming, it's maybe worth owning. So that's it against Bitcoin. Definitely something worth doing for sure. But yeah, Zcash for me, definitely going to have some strength in the near term, which is definitely good to see. Hype, arguably the best one. Low, high, low. We've got another high here. Highest weekly close at the minute. Time recording. Yeah, definitely one to watch for sure. Venice token, again, this has just gone up this year. If we can get a weekly close above there, it could be at to the races. So yeah, I think this is definitely one to consider as well again. Venice going to be one of the stronger ones for sure. Monero, a little bit more, I guess, choppy, but chopping higher. It's also got relative strength against Bitcoin as well. I checked that earlier this week. Yeah, it keeps making highs on that higher time frame. So yeah, Monero kind of does get a tick from me. ETH's an interesting one really because it's been in a range for about 5 to 6 years. So it's just kind of chopping about in this kind of wave. What happens when it gets back up to here, and it could take some time, will be really interesting. The good thing is it's not made new lows from its last bear market. So that is a good sign. But yeah, ETH's just building energy potentially for a huge move. But it could never get back here. You never want to be stuck in a bias where you think, oh, ETH's going to go to 10k guaranteed. But this is setting up for a massive move because it has just gone sideways really for 5 to 6 years. So, failed all-time high breakout last cycle. Could it be in an ETH situation where it comes back up? It's not gone this low, which I think is a really good sign as well. And you can see there, look, when I was talking about these new lows, the lows that were sold there went up. It didn't go as low there, which I always think is an easy sign. Just zoom out on the weekly. If it doesn't make a new low or it doesn't go as low, definitely one to watch. So, but yeah, so a little bit difficult. I think the ones I showed earlier have more momentum in the shorter term for sure. XRP, again, similar to the others really. It's not gone as low. It's, it'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes up here because it probably will again. If it fails again, it's like how many times is it just going to keep going and so on. But it's not gone as low. Again, similar to the others really. Just kind of this range, but it's not made new lows. So yeah, that's a good sign. And look, bear in mind, this could just go down here, right? It could go back down here. It's not to say we're in a new bull market, but this is assuming that we are going to, start to get some bullish price action. Cardano, done. See what I mean? The lows were set there, and it's gone lower. So that's not one I'd be watching. It's made a high. It's failed to go way higher. Nobody cares about it, and it's gone lower. So Cardano would be a one to avoid for me. BNB, a difficult one really because all the supply is kind of in one hands and controlled, but it is making new highs. So you can't really argue with that. It's not gone as low as previous cycles. It has made all-time highs. If we go on a monthly, you could argue we've got a high, low, high, and then could we kind of be basing here for another move up? Who knows? But yeah, BNB looks relatively good. Dogecoin, I don't know. Got nowhere near its all-time high last cycle. And it's kind of come back down. If it makes a new low here, I think it's done. I think it really is done, but it's still a huge coin. But I think just because it failed to go anywhere near here, it'd be one to avoid for me. Tron, similar to BNB, like it's going up. So all the supplies, in one set of hands, and yeah, but it has got strength, and it will have strength against Bitcoin as well. So it's a yes, but I would say a skeptical yes. Sui, the raw power one, I mean, a lot of work to be done. Like, if you're more of a short-term person, the coins I showed first are probably the ones to watch. Or if it's going to be a next cycle play and they're going to be the huge winners, I would say the ones that have relative strength now are probably going to end up being those ones. You know, you very rarely you see almost like a catch-up trade. You see it obviously sometimes, and maybe a couple of weeks of outperformance, but if we're talking a year to 2 years, you want to be going for the ones with more strength, the ones that are above its highs, the ones that are, you know, outpacing Bitcoin. If we go from SUI versus, you know, BTC, if we see what this looks like, see what I mean? Has it made, not quite made news lows against Bitcoin, but it's obviously not looking amazing. So that to me would be, you know, one to you know, maybe avoid because it's not got that relative strength. H-bar is a no from me. It's not gone anywhere near here. And I guess it's not gone as low, but I don't know, there'll be better ones to watch and it won't be outperforming Bitcoin. So H-bar would be a no from me. AVAX, again, new lows, nowhere near it's 2021. Yeah, this one for me is done. It didn't even make a new high in 2025. So AVAX would be one to avoid. And then we're back at the start. So hopefully you got, you know, something from this. I do have a free newsletter that will be, you know, linked to my bio and in the description if you're watching it on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.